You were a big part of Accrington Stanley's history because you were going to make your debut at the Exeter game in 1962.
That's
that
right,
never
yeah.
happened. How old were you and what was that like?
I would be 16 then.
And you would have been excited about your debut.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, it was looking forward to it and everything. And Jimmy Harrow was manager at Stanley then, and he'd had a word during the week. And yeah, so it's.
And when it didn't happen?
Well, it was devastating, really. More devastating for me was when you sort of turned up for training, and you had players from the first team in tears. They were being, no money for wages. There was, and it was. I mean, I was okay because I was still amateur then. I hadn't signed pro forms or anything, so. That was the worst part, I think, seeing grown men cry, if you will.
I mean, it was such a massive part, it's such a big part of Accrington Stanley's history, obviously, everything that happened in 1962, and there's not a lot of people around to remember it. What was like the feeling in the town that the club was going out of business?
Well, it was, I don't know, it was a very strange feeling, because the gates had dropped down to about 2,000 or 1,800 or something like that. So there wasn't enough money coming in. And I can remember going on Peel Park with 15 and 20,000 people on, when I was a kid, and so to drop from that sort of gate money down to, and still a professional club, was quite devastating, really.
And then the club reformed in 1968, and you were still
indeed,
in the area. 1970, ready to play again at the combination.
The press releases at the time informed people that Jimmy Hinksman was going to be the first manager of the new Stanley, and I saw Jimmy very early after he'd been appointed, and I think I was Jimmy's I think I was his first signing, actually.
I mean,
because,
you're probably one of the few people that does span the two clubs,
yeah.
And you made your debut. You made your Accrington Stanley debut eventually in that game against Formby, the first game they played back in.
That's right, in 1970, yeah.
And what do you remember about the club? What do you remember about that particular game? Because obviously it was a very historic game.
Well, the official attendance, I think, was 600, but there was about 1,000 on, because so many people came on and just sort of came on and didn't pay anything at all, because there was just a wide open space. There was no, if you can imagine, a park field. That's what we played on, and people just seemed to just stroll up and watch the game, and they were just crowded down the touchline. There was nowhere to sit, no standing areas. It was just stand around the field, and it was just wide open space.
Are you proud to have been in? I mean, I know it must have been hard in 1962, but to be involved in such a significant era of Accrington Stanley's history, I don't know whether proud's the right word, but
yeah, I think it would be fair to say that. When Stanley reformed in 1968, nobody ever expected Stanley to come back to this level, and I mean, when you walk into these facilities now, they are quite palatial to what we started with a small wooden shed on the side of the ground, showers that didn't work. I mean, it was luxury to us when, after a couple of years or so, we got the dressing rooms built at the bottom end of the ground. Local builders put those up.
How proud of, when they went into the league in 2006, how proud, you probably never thought...
Never ever thought they'd make it, no. I mean, even a couple of years ago when they missed out on the promotion in the playoffs, I mean, I was just gutted, really, but I mean, I'm a Stanley fan, but I was brought up as a Blackburn fan, and but nonetheless, as a kid, I went to quite a few games at all three clubs, Blackburn, Burnley and Stanley. I mean, it was just football to me, and that was it. So it was good. Yeah.
Now in League One, now hopefully financially stable.
Well, hopefully so, yes. Yeah. I mean, this new chairman, I mean, what a fantastic guy. They say you know, I don't know. He's put the money in. He's put it where his mouth is. He's backed the club, and I think that, well, the whole town owes him a big debt, obviously. And as I say, unfortunately, I can't play anymore. That's the sad part.